Welcome back to Compel Reality Podcast. Welcome back to the
Compel Episode 6.
When we got Mr. Surviv0r here.
Hey, what's up?
So tell us about yourself so we can get some background.
Shit, where do you want me to start?
Origin. VR Origin specifically.
Oh, okay.
Just tell us your whole life story right now. Go.
Yeah. From the cock and balls to where you are now.
So in 1982.
I'm sorry. We really gotta stop cursing within the first 2 minutes, bro. Like, that's gonna be a problem later on. We gotta get used to that.
Well, whenever we're monetized, sure, but not right now.
I
We're
mean, it
chilling.
doesn't matter now, but like, I'm just saying, in the future, it's gonna probably make a huge difference.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, Mr. Surviv0r, continue.
So I flew out the womb in 1982.
Wow, you're just barely a millennial still.
Yeah, barely.
Isn't 82 the cutoff for the millennial generation?
I think so. I'll be
It's like
honest.
82
I don't.
to 97.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I'm in the big 4-0 this year.
Damn, grats, bro.
Yeah,
It's all downhill from there.
it really is. Like I do feel like I've reached. I'm going on the other side of the hill now, but I'm on the right side of the grass, so that's good. Oh yeah, you said
There you go.
right. You said VR origin story. So I started in 2016 and with the PSVR. And the way that came about is kind of unique. So at my job, we had a Sony rep come in September, which was the month before it actually released, and he did a 15-minute demo. And so I waited in line, got in there, sat down, and what I got to play was Eve Valkyrie, I think it was. And I sat in that cockpit, looked down, saw my digital legs for the first time, and I was sold instantly. Because
It's hard not to be.
the depth, the 3D aspect of it, all like really feeling like the distance was present. Like it was just super cool, and I was instantly like, I got to get one of these. Unfortunately, though, that was right kind of as I came into the job, and money wasn't too heavy, so I had to wait a little bit. But I got super lucky because a work buddy of mine got one day one, but he had wicked motion sickness problems, and dude just gave it to me. Like straight up, everything he bought, he just gave it to me. I offered to pay
Holy
for
shit.
it, just gave it to me. And
wow.
so that's what sparked that beast. And I stayed with it for a little while, but I got to say, like now being in the, I'm on a Quest 2 these days, but starting there and remembering the awfulness that is that camera and having to get it so for tracking. Whether you were using wands or not, like it was just so awful. It took me forever to get that right, to where I could feel free to play, except for don't turn around. You turn around, you're going to lose tracking. It was pretty bad, but
It was camera based, right?
yeah, it was a single camera,
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
and they
Didn't
lit up
it use like infrared or something for the hand tracking or the
for
wands or whatever?
Yeah, for the headset, they had lights that you had to calibrate on the headset with your TV, with the camera. Yeah, it was awful, absolutely
Brutal.
awful.
VR has come a long way since then.
It really has. Like, but that's not to say that there wasn't good experiences there. It was just
Oh
like
yeah.
the
I think it
games
was just
themselves.
PlayStation VR. PlayStation VR was the only thing that was like that in terms of like using camera-based tracking. Like, even then, at the same time, I believe the Vive Pro came out, or Vive Pro came out at the same time, pretty much relatively close.
Well,
Yep.
So
I mean, camera-based tracking in the sense that it was set up with PSVR, because like Quest
Yeah.
2 uses camera-based tracking.
like that's what I mean, like specifically like single camera,
right, yeah.
Because like with the
Yeah,
Quest
like
2,
a
you get what?
third-person camera tracking.
Yeah, Quest 2, you have 4, don't you? Something like that.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
4 on the
4?
headset itself. Yeah,
Yeah, 4.
Okay, yeah.
and I
I'm
don't
ignorant
have.
about that shit.
I just look to my right, look at my Quest 2 real quick. I'm like, yeah, 4.
Yeah, but yeah, you get rowdy and super hot on PSVR. You're gonna have. You're not in the play
gonna have
space.
bad.
You're not in the play space, and just kills the immersion. Drives me
Yeah.
nuts. So we hung on to that for a little while. I introduced my kid to VR that way as well.
Hell yeah.
And he didn't follow me until we got until the Quest 2 came out. So funny story, I waited a while. I decided, okay, I'm going to get a Quest 1. And the reason why I went with Quest was not only due to the price tag, but also it doubled as a PC VR. And that was really what I was interested in, because when I was getting into that, Half-Life Alyx was maybe a month old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's actually what made me take the plunge into PC VR. And I got to say, I'm super glad I did take that plunge, because holy hell.
Completely different ballgame.
Yeah, the difference between standalone and
it
PC
really
VR
is
like night and day. It really is. Yeah.
The problem is, though, is I bought they had the 64 gig and 128 gig on the Quest 1. And so I spent the extra dough and got the 128 gig. And I shit you not, like 4 months later, they're like, hey, what you know about this Quest 2? And I'm like, are you...
Get fucked, nerd.
Are you shitting me? And so... And then, so I was like, well, I never really filled up the 128 gig, so I'll just get the 64 gig with Quest 2. So that's what I did. And I'm still rocking that bad boy because, again, I play more PC VR than I do native Quest games.
Yeah.
I don't really travel that much, but on occasion, like, go to family, friends, or whatever that aren't into VR, it's a good segue, like, right into it. And I can just slap this bitch on their face and be like, you're going to walk that plank, or I'm going to, something like that. But,
Cocaine Captain Jack Sparrow.
It's like how every, person, crashing into a TV VR video starts. Is
I love those videos.
That fucking plank,
I love
bro.
those videos so much, man.
I know.
But
so good.
So good.
PSVR wasn't actually the first VR-esque type experience. Like in 94 or 5, there was like this place, me and my folks went to Orlando, and I don't remember exactly where we were, but there was like this pod type thing.
The Virtuality 1000, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yep.
It was like putting a VCR on your head.
Yeah.
Like that thing was massive, and I'm like pretty much a twig, especially back then. So it was quite cumbersome wearing that thing, and it was like this it was solid colors. I remember that, and the polygons were very reminiscent of the original Virtua Fighter, like very hard cut polygons. Like there was no smoothness to them, no real texture, just color.
Yeah.
No anti-aliasing.
It was the specs on that thing were very interesting. It was powered by an Amiga 3000, which is like the Commodore basically. And it didn't actually quite do the stereoscopic effect. It did, but it didn't. It was like basically just 2D virtual reality, which is a really weird thing to think about. But yeah, I did a whole video on it, so I went really in depth on that whole era of like the virtual reality in the 90s. It's really strange time for tech, but
hey, if you ever need to get out of work or whatever, and you want to just like claim you got a wicked migraine, just try a Virtua Boy for about 2 minutes.
Oh my god!
It might not even take that long.
Awful red monochromic display,
dude. It's awful. And there's an emulator that you can put on your Quest and play those games.
I'm good, Chief. That's gonna be a no for me, Doug.
Well, yeah, I wasn't suggesting it. I was just saying someone liked it enough to go through the trouble of.
You know what's really interesting is apparently Sega VR actually did it really well, and the reason they didn't continue it is because the engineers were specifically like, it's way too realistic. I guess somehow they figured out how to get the stereoscopic thing down just right, and it was like an actual standalone virtual reality type device.
Wow,
or not,
I didn't.
Not
one
true
thing I didn't know
standalone.
about.
Like it was still connected to the Genesis, but it was like a traditional like more closer to like what we have now.
Interesting. I didn't know Sega had any hand at all in VR. As a matter of fact,
Ramsey has made a full video on like the past of the VR shit.
Yeah, like a deep dive into
like
virtual reality in the 90s. Yeah,
I was surprised you brought this up because it's like, man, he literally just covered this like what 2-3 weeks ago.
2-3 weeks ago, yeah, something like that. Yep.
Well, I know what I need to watch when we're done.
It's pretty insane. Like it was a huge thing in the 90s for a while, from like between like 91 to like 96 or so. It was a huge fad and it was exploding, and there was just so many I think the technology was just like way ahead of its time. Like even you could even argue like when the DK1 came out, it was ahead of its time, you know what I mean? But definitely back then.
For sure. I'll tell you right now, if 40-year-old me could hop into a DeLorean and go back to the 1993 me and say, yo, you don't know this yet, but there's a sequel to this game called Quake coming out called Quake 3 Arena. And eventually you're going to be able to play that shit in full motion control VR. It's going to be crazy. Played that several times with like Skiva and Stax and them, and it's just, oh my God.
I saw that stream.
So good. It's so good. And with haptics,
really good things about it.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, it's actually those Dr. Beef ports are probably some of my favorite B-haptics experiences too. They're just made with so much. Oh yeah, they're just made with so much love. Like, you know, you spawn in and you feel like the concussions from the rings that go around you. You feel all the bullets.
Oh, that's badass. That's so cool.
I won't lie, like getting shot with the lightning gun kind of tickles. Like, I had no complaints about being shot with the lightning gun while we were playing. But no, it's super cool, and like the health, you could feel the health and all that stuff. You could feel the ching from the armor plates that you were picking up. You could feel the concussion from jumping, not only your liftoff, but your landing. You could feel the jump pads and stuff like it. Yeah, haptics. I'm fairly new in the haptics world, but it is that it's what takes VR to that next level for me. Yeah, so I'm begging and pleading with the Veil guys. I'm like, you guys got to do this. I know
I asked them a question on the very first AMA about the B haptics, and they're like, yeah, they plan on it, but they don't know when. Because I have a haptic suit too, so.
Yeah, no,
it's
so
something
good.
I really need to invest in as a haptic suit. I got to. I really, you know what I'm really interested in trying is the OO shirt. Have you seen that?
I have.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Like,
that's the one that's painful, right?
Yeah, like it's like you can feel it's not just like pain. I mean, it also has like I think like force feet, like impact type stuff, but yeah, like it'll let you feel pain in
it's like with shock, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I don't like the way you worded that. It'll let you feel pain. I don't know. There's just there's something a little weird
pain.
There.
It is pain.
Well, I saw something just the other day where someone is trying to work on mouth haptics. Now, tell me, guys, what's that going to be used for?
glog, SashaGray.mp4.
So, have we breached the 2 minutes yet? Can we say dirty words?
We are in the clear now, my guy.
I don't think it matters the second I said cock and balls anyway.
Actually, that haptic, the mouth haptic feedback device, I covered that in Thick Thursdays like a month ago or something, and it looks really interesting actually because it uses sound waves. It's literally just ultrasonic transducers, and it somehow creates sensation. It's like really, really strange. I think we're probably a little ways away from having something like that, like mainstream, but like definitely the fact that we can do it is just cool.
Just feel the cum drip from your mouth.
Okay.
Yep. The scum lord is here, folks. He went for it. Got a mouthful, and now it's dribbling. God damn. I was curious how long it was going to take for you to breach that line, but you know what? Not long, ladies and gentlemen.
Here.
I mean, come on. You've known me how long, Survivor? Come on.
Yeah, my introduction to you was something else too. It was After Dark for a couple 3 hours. He's a psycho, ladies and gentlemen. When he tells you he's something, just believe him. just believe him because I've seen what the other side
hear
brings.
my laugh.
Yeah, man. He should honestly like be like a live action actor in like VR or something. Like he would be good at that.
I agree.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
The man is just next level psychopath.
What we're saying is
if they put me in a game, I'd be stoked. To be honest, it's just because of my mentality.
Well, if they ever shoot a horror film in VR and you don't get the part, I'm writing somebody.
Yeah, like seriously, like I'm gonna demand a refund and be like, I've been thinking about shopping here a couple of times. I demand a refund.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I got into right as I got into the Quest 2, me and my youngest got one at the same time. He bought one and I bought one, and
Hell yeah.
The goal was to play as much as possible. We were all super stoked and whatnot, and we've played here and there, but I can't get him to like. He still goes back to the freaking flat games. Like I don't know, it's like
pancake games.
Yeah. It's like crack for him. Like for whatever reason, it might just be the generational difference. But you know where we're at now with VR is something I have dreamed about for so long. Like, and I know it's going to get better. And I can only like when I look at my kids, I'm like, you know, this stuff is out now, and I'm like, damn. When you're my age, like I'm curious.
They're going to really.
Yeah,
be able to experience all of the things that we fantasized about as kids, basically.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Like all this stuff coming to now. We didn't reach like I remember back in the day when Back to the Future Part 2 came out. Everybody was super stoked about what the future looked like, and now we've breached that year, and there's still no flying cars, really.
Bro,
and
I don't know why, but like for just the splittest of seconds, I thought you were about to say, and everybody was kung fu fighting. Just a like meme, but
everybody was kung fu fighting.
Wait, did you say kung or cum?
Kung fu fighting. It's where you just come in your hand
fu.
and then you slap each other.
Okay, you know, I know who I'm talking to, so I just had to clarify. I know my audience, at least you two. Whoever listens is just doomed thereafter. Like,
Kung fu. What is that? Is that fucking tofu,
all you
bro?
hear are just wet footsteps in the background.
It's just tofu. Tofu just actually just cum.
Have you ever had it? Like just straight up tofu? No, not cum. Not come on.
Say that again.
Have you ever had tofu before?
Oh, tofu. Okay, I thought we were talking about something else.
That's why I said cum.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I'm fucking crying.
That's what you get when you get a scuffler, bro.
Jesus Christ. Some real smooth brains in here.
What I was going to say is if you haven't ever had just straight up tofu, I wouldn't be surprised if you'd had the other and said they taste the same, because it is fucking awful. It is clear to me that when I had tofu, it was not made right. That's all I'm saying.
From what I understand, and granted, I'm not like a tofu connoisseur. I've had it a couple of times and it was all right. But from what I understand is it's like, it basically just takes on the taste of whatever you're cooking it in. So I don't know. I guess like if you cook it in teriyaki, it just tastes like teriyaki. And
yeah,
you know, so maybe they were cooking it in cum.
Oh, I hope not.
It's just deep frying tofu in a pot of cum.
It's just a conglomerate of different animals.
Oh, that would piss them off real good, wouldn't it? It's funny to me because I'm a father of 4, and I have my kids. I had 2 kids that kept flip-flopping between meat eating and vegetarianism, and Oh man, let me tell you, that was awful. Because when one would go for a vegetarian, that means you're cooking 2 meals. And when I started learning about vegan and tofu and stuff like that, I learned it separate from them, and I was just praying to anyone that would listen, please, for the love of God, don't let them go that route. At least while they're living with me, let them get out of the house, and they can do whatever the hell they want.
Save me time and money.
So when your kid walks up to you and is like, "I'm a vegan now," was it just like immediately reaching for the belt, or?
No, I didn't. No, it was more like...
I'm kidding, obviously. I'm obviously being facetious.
No, it was grab the Kleenexes, go in a corner, and start crying. Like...
Never mind. I was going to say something else. You said Kleenex?
No!
Yeah, we could only guess what you were going to say, Soul. See, I gotta learn the connectors here.
Look, if you even allude to come with this man, okay?
Yeah.
Stepping into the mind of a fucking dot job.
But
holy hell.
Anyway, so you got 4 fucking kids, bro?
Yeah, so my family dynamic is probably a whole nother podcast in and of itself. But I'll give you because I like fucking with people's heads, I'll give you the quick and dirty here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
so,
I'm interested.
Married once, did not work out, and had a kid with her, and so that's my youngest. And then got remarried, and she had 3, and so there's the 4, and she had 2 girls and a boy, and I had a boy, so we got an even split. And the uniqueness of it is I'm 40 years old, and I might be Northwest Arkansas's youngest grandfather because my oldest daughter gave me a grandson 7 years ago.
What?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
Congrats, by the way.
Well, thank you. My wife's got me by 5 years. She did start a little earlier than I did. It's kind of weird if you think about it. I was born in 82, so by age 11, my first daughter was born, and I didn't know it.
Wow.
Hey, yo.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy fuck. That is wild.
So there's just over 10 years between me and my oldest, and she's the one that gave me a grandson. And my youngest just got married. He's 20. So I'm done with kids.
Wow. So they're all done.
Yeah,
like,
everybody's out of the house. It's just me and the
clean
wife
your
and the
hands,
dogs.
wipe them off. You're good to go. Like you can just do whatever the fuck you want now.
Yeah, and I did something right because like no one's calling me asking me, can I get $5 here, $10 there, $20 here? I can't pay rent, none of that stuff. So I did something right. We did something right. I won't take all the credit. My wife probably killed me if she heard me say that, and she will likely listen to this podcast, so she will hear me say it.
Well, she's in for a wild fucking ride, let me tell you.
Hello, Mrs. Survivor. We're not talking about cum.
We're definitely, we have not been talking about the baby
man's
batter,
nectar.
the man goo, the yogurt splurt.
Yeah, I can just see her face right now. She's gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
Just literally, just like head, face in palm, just
what
like,
did you do?
Where the fuck did I go wrong?
Why did you join this podcast?
What did I do?
But no, hats off to her. She's super supportive. She's actually the reason I got the haptics. She ordered that stuff for me. She can't do VR, by the way. Like the motion sickness train, like nails
really
her within seconds. Like I couldn't get her to sit in a chair and do.
Not even like Beat Saber?
Nope. I couldn't get her to sit in a chair and do Tetris Effect without her getting sick.
Damn.
Holy shit. Yeah, some people do just get like insanely.
Yeah, she couldn't
like
go the stacks route
motion
and give it a month, and do it like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Incremental, yeah.
Yeah, he told us about that. I was like, bro, you got way more patience than I do, man.
Yeah, no,
I went balls deep.
That's dedication. I'm the same way, so I never had any issues with it. I had a couple experiences early on that would like take my stomach like a roller coaster would when I was young.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I might like almost like I played Hellsweeper on Steam when it was in like a little play test I don't know, it's probably been maybe about a year ago. Anyway, you can do front flips in that in slow motion. And the first time I did that, I damn near face planted in real life.
I could understand that.
It was a completely different sensation I was not expecting at all. I mean, I knew I was going to flip, but the visual on it, it took me for a ride for a second. And I almost ate dirt. Almost.
I've got a couple questions.
Yeah, what's up?
So you... Fuck off, Graham. I'm gonna.
All right, that's it, boys. The podcast is over. No,
that's a wrap.
So you do? Do you mainly do TikTok, or do you try to do both TikTok and YouTube?
I try to do both. The way I started with so my YouTube channel has actually existed since 2009, with the intention of it being strictly with it just being in existence for music. And then I didn't really want to do, I shot I don't know how many music videos, and I just never cared for them, and so I didn't really want to put them out, and so I just started uploading little goofy clips from PlayStation really at first. And then when I got into VR, I made a hard decision to I need to focus this channel if I want to do anything with it. And this is right as the Quest 2 was coming into my life and taking it over. And then I just made the decision, all right, I'm going to focus it. So what I've been trying to do is do a weekly release, at least one long form weekly release on the YouTube. And then sometimes it comes from the same clip. Sometimes when I play games, I'm just not feeling it in long form fashion. I feel like it'd serve better as little shorts or TikToks, which I tend to lean towards TikTok more than I do shorts. But yeah, I
do both.
I do do both, but I lately I've been a lot more active on TikTok. And, I think it's probably because I'm getting a little bit more attention over there. The growth is kind of is a little bit more speedy.
Yeah, the way I see it though is if you already have the clip, you could just rip it from your TikTok and just post it on there. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, and you can maybe get more subscribers that way. Because for example, I posted a short not just yesterday, and I got 10 subs in a day, and just from that one short, and I got 10 20 followers on TikTok. I mean, it's it varies on each platform, obviously, but you never know what's coming in from either TikTok or whatever. So,
that's true. I listened, speaking of that, I listened to the podcast you guys did with Tribe, and that little 411 he gave you in the middle. Shout out to that guy, because him and Stacks both, they're just two humble, very nice dudes. The VR community is very lucky to have both of those guys.
Absolutely.
But Tribe reached out to me and asked me if I wanted him to kind of teach me the ropes on TikTok, and I was like, yeah. About a week or so went by, and I finally had some time, and I was like, hey, I'm game to do it whenever you are. He spent an hour with me on a Discord call, and we pulled up my TikTok we were pulling up my videos. He was showing me what was right, what was wrong. He gave me the same lowdown but in more depth detail as he did you guys on air. It was super duper helpful, and that's why I made the comment on that particular podcast I did, saying he knows what he's talking about. Listen to him, because as soon as I started doing what he was suggesting, my videos were going from a couple hundred views, which I thought was okay, because I'm used to double-digit numbers mostly on YouTube. And so I was like, okay, so what can I do to take this? He ran me through it, and I started kind of adhering to what he was saying a little bit, and I started seeing 4 digits pretty regularly. And so I was like, okay, so there's something there. And I kind of fucked up a little bit with the TikTok, because I got this game for PS5, Sifu, and there's this moment in the beginning that is, shot for shot almost, of Old Boy, the single shot fight sequence that happens on the staircase, and they kind of did a hat tip to it. I clipped it, I threw it on TikTok, and that and I still get likes to it on it today, and it's like over 107,000 views.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Jesus.
My comments blew up. That was hell to try to keep up with, and I was really trying to like respond to people, but it was just, yeah, it got out of hand. And that was just one video, and I was so pissed that it wasn't VR content that blew up. So pissed.
Yeah.
Because that's my focus, and like I just threw it up there for shits and giggles, and this was, I did that well before I even really started talking to Tribe, and he gave me the schooling. And I was so mad that it wasn't VR. And the closest I gotten is like I have a Boneworks video on there that did a little over 5K. But I keep talking about numbers and stuff like that. I be perfectly honest, I'm just doing what I like to do and putting it out there.
Same.
And
Me too.
If it gets consumed, it gets consumed. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not getting shit on. I would say that where my numbers are based on the amount of time I've put into both TikTok and YouTube, like when I got serious about this, I say it's a pretty adequate reflection of the effort I've been able to put in, because my job's quite demanding.
Right.
And so like I feel like it reflects roughly where it should be.
How long have you like started with content creation? Like, when did you start like actually like putting in the time to do content creation?
I had probably a couple of months into the pandemic, really.
2020.
So not very long. And TikTok I didn't really start until towards the end of 2020. And so, I'm sitting, I think I got like 500 followers or whatever on there, which is pretty decent for what I can put out. And good reception. These videos that we're able to do together when we can get together and play, like Pavlov and stuff, that one did pretty well. A lot of people like that.
I saw that.
A lot of people like that one.
What I like about TikTok is that it's different, because with YouTube, like if you play saturated games, especially with like longer form content, you're not going to get.
You just get buried.
You get.
There's literally
buried
no point.
underneath everybody.
You just get buried.
But with TikTok, even if you play saturated games, for example, Pavlov is everywhere. It's one of the most played VR games. But if you put it on TikTok, no matter what, you are going to see it. Like even if it's saturated or not, you're going to see it from either the small creator or not. And that's what I like about TikTok, because as much as I love the fucking memes I see, the amount of people I find from the VR community that I don't even know about or whatever, and find them there is really substantial. Because like I found like 4 content creators. Most of them are VR chat, sadly, because I mean VR chat is, well, it's VR chat. Everyone's on it. Everyone's doing whatever with it.
VR chat, yeah.
But I get it. VR chat has some good memes you can get out of it, because especially with you make your own avatar and do skits with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like finding that many creators on TikTok that's from a very saturated game, a very, very saturated game, especially VR chat, is kind of cool to see. And when you click their YouTube channel, they're roughly around our numbers, which is again pretty cool. So I thought about reaching out to several that way.
That's the one thing that I think I think that's why TikTok has been really killing it lately compared to like the other social media platforms. Like the reason why they're as big as they are now is because they're basically doing what YouTube was doing in the beginning, which was giving everyone an equal opportunity to blow up. Right. Yeah. And now we know it is not in contention. It is objectively true that YouTube suppresses certain creators and promotes other creators because they know that's just where the ad revenue's at. Right.
Yeah.
But with YouTube though, the thing is, with YouTube is like, it's still one of it's still like one of the top things to promote to, because it's still, even if you're a small creator, it'll still try to push your content out no matter what. But obviously with people, some people, for example, I don't know, if you're just wanting to find something specific and this person has this many more views, and well, back then they used to have the like and dislike showing, but they don't have that anymore. But like when you would like look at it and you'd be like, oh, this guy's a lot of likes, or this guy's a lot more views than this person. I'll click this person's video instead. But your video would still pop up. And then maybe if that old video, or maybe if that other person's video that they clicked on originally, it just doesn't work anymore, they'll switch back over and go to the next best thing, and so on. And eventually you get some people in, and so on. That's just how YouTube works. And I still think it's pretty good, especially with the shorts thing now too, because they're doing that short stuff is really helping a lot.
Yeah,
especially with
it's good. Well. Like, there's always going to be a place for that, and I think it's still a good platform. I'm not like gonna say that you should just not do YouTube because TikTok is better. I think you should do all of the platforms if you can. I even post my videos to Rumble, which is like an alt media site. Just
still doing that?
Yeah, because it's still extra exposure. That's the way I see it. I mean, I haven't done like TikTok really all that much, just because I haven't focused on short form content. I feel like I really should invest the time into doing it, because I don't think it doesn't take that long compared to like long form content. Like long form content is so much more time consuming,
especially since you don't do like more of the comedic stuff anymore. I feel like it would help a little bit. I could still
do informative content and do shorts. Like I could still do short news bits and stuff for TikTok.
I get it.
But I think TikTok has just been killing it because of that. Because the way at least from what I understood from when Tribe explained it to me, the way YouTube operates is it promotes your content to your subscribers first, and then based on how it performs with your subscribers, right? If it does poorly, it doesn't promote it to new people. If it does good, then it does promote it to new people. With TikTok, it just promotes it to everyone. It's just like you're watching VR content. Here's a new VR content creator.
Yeah, I think on TikTok it does a split. I think if I remember correctly, he was saying that the 5% of your followers is who it pushes out to, and then like obviously it hooks onto the hashtags you use and pushes out to those, which we're always using VR ones, so that's who it'll go to. But it's a small percentage at first, and then you've got like the likes and the shares and the comments are all like kind of point attributed, and depending on which one you're getting, we'll push it out a little further and a little further. It's interesting. Definitely different from YouTube. But I like them both. I do like doing long form videos. But too. I feel like as far as my long form videos, I'm still not quite where I want to be in terms of, I feel like there's a little identity crisis with mine.
Is it quality? Is it is it the form of content you're doing that you're not satisfied with exactly, or what was?
No, I think it's not like what I'm covering or anything like that. Like I've always had a difficult time figuring out if I want to do like impressions, like on a game, first impression type videos, or if I want to do or if I want to utilize it, try to tell a story in some way. Like I'm too flip-floppy, and so I feel like if you look at all my YouTube videos, especially all the VR stuff, it's some of them I'm really still proud of, and some of them I'm like, it's a little dry, which is me naturally. But I feel like it lacks a little flavor. I haven't quite found the Mr. Surviv0r flavor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Just kind of feel like you haven't really found your groove or your lane yet.
Yeah, when I look exactly. When I look at people like Gamertag VR and Beardo Benjo and all those cats, like I don't see who I want to be. I see what I want to be, and that's just a positive reinforcement for this VR shit. Like, and for me, it's not even just gaming. I mean, that's the intrigue. That's what hooked me and what brought me in. But there's plenty of other avenues for AR and VR and stuff to play, and I'm equally intrigued by that. I think the tech is just super cool, and my people at work just think I'm a huge nerd, which I actually own that. I was like, you can call me that anytime. I'm definitely I'm definitely a nerd for sure. I bought the underwear.
He's got the whitey tighties.
But I told somebody at work, I was like, listen, I believe in this shit so much that if I had the financial backing, anybody that came up to me and asked me for Quest 2, I'd just buy it for them, no questions asked. For them.
Yeah,
straight up.
Absolutely.
Yep, same.
That's exactly
because
how I feel
need
too.
you to see this, because I can make 1 million flat videos for VR. I can even make them stereoscopic if I want to, but very few people are going to be able to see it in that form, and flat just doesn't convey what we feel, what we see. And even with the haptic stuff, you know, I can put that little thing up on the screen in my videos, and so people can see where I'm taking the hits or getting scratched or whatever. That's really cool for the viewer, but you're not feeling it. Like, that's the only, it's probably part of what intrigues me about VR and trying to, you know, break through in some kind of way in content creation as it relates to VR is that how hard it is. It is definitely a challenge to get people to understand, holy shit, like they're actually doing that. They're in the game. It's so hard to get that across.
Yeah, you're not playing the game. You are the game.
Like, just trying to convey
your body is the game now.
I think what helps, though, is flat to VR mods. So, like the Resident Evil games, a lot of people have played Resident Evil Village. A lot of people have played Resident Evil 7, and even those before them. But those are like the really big hookers right now. Oh, wait, that sounded weird.
Hookers. You said hookers.
I did say hookers.
All we're missing is some blow.
Well, yeah, see, I was.
Right.
He had.
Okay.
You had one job, Soul.
What a perfect combination.
You had one job, and it was not to say that. That word is off the board for the rest of the episode. I'm the director now.
Can't keep promises. I'm sorry.
So I took my Quest 2 shortly after I first got it. I took it over to my friend's place, and like I showed it to them, and I like showed it to their kids and shit, and like they were all absolutely blown away by it. Like they were
enthralled.
Yeah, just like immediately. And I was like, and it was really fucking cool because, you know, I've been talking to them about, you know, VR and how they should like try it and like try and get into VR and like how fucking cool it is for like years now, right? Like trying to get them to do it. And I was like, you know, fuck it, I've got the Quest 2 now. You know, like nobody has to come over because, you know, previously all I had was like a Valve Index. So it's like, what, you're gonna bring your whole family over to my house, you know, my little basement to try
family
VR.
Time in the basement, kids.
Yeah, exactly. So I took the Quest 2 over, and when they got done, they were like, we get it. Like we understand why you were like so stoked about this technology. And then their next question was like, all right, so how much do these cost?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we kind of want to buy one now. So, and
that's enthralling, man.
Yeah, it's you don't know what it's like. You really like it's so impossible to convey what that experience is like without just having somebody try it.
Yeah. Well, when I was talking earlier about some of the stuff I had done in the 90s, which that big contraption that you did a video on wasn't the only thing I did that was VR-esque, but my dad did that stuff with me too back then. And so fast forward to now with like the Quest, I actually haven't gotten him into the Quest 2, but when I had the Quest 1, I took it over there and put him in warplanes because he's a huge flight sim nut. He loves flight simulators, dogfighting, all that shit.
Hell yeah.
And so I put him in that, and I guess he's like me or I'm like him, however that goes. And he didn't get sick at all. He loved it, and he was baffled about how much further the tech had come, because him and I had our own PCs eventually, and we used to do serial cable. I'm dating myself here. Serial cable connection between the two PCs for multiplayer. So we played Duke Nukem 3D. We played flight sims together. We played Doom and Quake and all that stuff. But we had these 3D glasses that weren't as good as the NVIDIA ones that were very short-lived, but they did the flicker, the alternate eye flicker thing, which could give you a headache pretty quickly if you were susceptible to it. But they were completely compatible with the old game Descent and Descent 2. And that's a 360-degree movement game made in the Quake and Doom engine back in its time. And oh my God, like that was Barf City. Like it was the one thing that would make you want to regret whatever you ate for lunch and breakfast. Like it might even bring up last night's dinner. It was pretty bad. And then fast forward to this, and no problem. Even the PSVR and its lower quality and pretty awful tracking, like no problem. Whatever those glasses were doing was
those ideas. I think it was the idea was way ahead of the technology, right? Like, and this goes back even to like, do you know about the Sword of Damocles?
Yes.
So yeah, that was like what, 1968 or something like that. And it's like, imagine in 1968 telling somebody that you could be inside of a virtual world and experience it in full. And that was like basically the idea to begin with, right? Like, but the tech still, I mean, is just now becoming available to create that kind of experience and like do it well. Because before, you know, like you said, Barf City, man, you know, it was like the tech just wasn't there. It like there was ways to do it primitively, but it wasn't very good, and it was executed poorly, and it didn't look great, and you know.
Oh yeah, I'm with you 100%. I do think you're absolutely right that the ideas were way ahead of what we could do from a tech standpoint, for sure. For sure. You're talking to somebody that started building computers when he was 10. Like I've kept up with tech since the age of 10 pretty much. As it relates to PC. Yeah, my dad bought me all the pieces to my computer when I was 10 for my birthday. Wouldn't help me build it, but stayed on my ass and made sure made sure I built it. And back in these days, if you got a jumper wrong, you could blow the board. So I did that shit right. It took me 2 days.
And there was also no Google back then, so you can just look this shit up.
No, the internet I had back then was bulletin board systems, bros. Like monochrome screens. You were connecting to another PC in your city that might have what you're looking for. That was the internet before the internet.
It was basically just like forums, pretty much.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. That's actually what it took me overnight to download the shareware episode of the original Doom, which would fit on which would fit on one floppy, on a 2400
floppy
baud.
disk.
Yeah, on a 2400 baud modem. It took me overnight to download the shareware episode of Doom.
Apologies, you can probably hear my dog. He's, he's squeaking his toy right now. He loves that thing.
The squeak will.
Yeah,
it's all good. I got a dog too.
So in terms of your content, so let's see, the last you updated was like Contractors and Resident Evil 8 VR. So back to the VR flat screen stuff. Have you like thought about because I know plenty of people have done videos on it. I do it. I mean, I do it, as I said. I know Beardo Banjo does it, and then doesn't Gamertag do it as well?
For what?
Create content in terms of like VR, flat screen to VR mod review or etc. Whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I can't. Yeah. So have you thought about doing that, or are you trying to what are you trying to lean towards in terms of your content creation?
You know, I don't have an overall direction per se.
Mm-hmm.
I just am really inspired by creativity. And I've always been a creative person. So when I shoot a video or whenever we play together or whatever, and I'm recording, I'll know during that session whether or not there's a video there. And I know how
whatever just floats your boat, basically. Whatever just happens.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I did try to gravitate towards Contractors because both of the videos I did on that game in particular did pretty well for YouTube standards, especially for somebody that was pre 200 subs. I think I had one that hit 6K and another one hit a little over 8K. So I don't have I don't necessarily go after funny content. If what I record happens to be funny, then it's going to be a funny video.
Right.
If I'm doing a horror game, I try to edit it, and I'll even add stuff to it to try to make it a little extra creepy. But my problem, I think, or the one aspect of my stuff that I think I need to curve or fix is I tend to maybe talk too much in the beginning of the video before the gameplay actually takes off. And so like I need to find the Mr. Surviv0r way of doing that.
That
makes sense.
Similar issue.
Where
I used to do that. So I used to do the thing that you do, Soul, where it says like you pause 30 seconds or a minute in, and you're like, hey, these are my socials, this is what I do, make sure to like, subscribe, blah 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 blah.
Well, I only do that with my Saturday content, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, I used to do that in every video. The second I stopped doing it, immediate extra 2 minutes of average viewer attention.
Interesting.
Yeah, people just they just want the content. I even stopped. I used to have an intro that I used to do in all my videos. I don't do that anymore, even though it was only I don't know, maybe 8 seconds at the most. Because I don't know, it's just viewer retention is the key to having your videos promoted on YouTube, especially if it's your subscribers watching it. Obviously above click-through rate. It doesn't matter what your viewer retention is. If your click-through rate's bad, your video won't get promoted. Just kind of frustrating, but yeah. I don't remember where I was going with this, but
that's why I try to leave chapters. That's why I try to leave chapters, because I have my introduction. I'll state what the video is about, and then it'll have that little bit, and then if you wanted to, you could just skip to the next chapter. So get it out of the way. That's why I try to do the chapter bit for my Saturday stuff. I mean, my Saturday stuff still gets average pretty good views normally. So, but I'll try. I will try that a couple of Saturday videos and see how it goes, and just put it closer to the end, I guess.
Yeah. Instead, I'll either mention something at the end, or I will I'll just include it as part of my conclusion. Hey, like it, but I keep it brief. Make sure to like it if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more of it. Hit that notification bell if you want to see more of this type of content next week. That's it. But then I'll just put random like and subscribe buttons throughout the video, some subliminal messaging to brainwash the viewer,
Call to actions.
I just spam it within the first 4 minutes heavy.
Wait, don't divulge all your secrets, Graham. Don't do it. Don't do it. They're listening.
I'm coming for your like and subscribe.
That was eerily good. Stop that. No.
I'm coming for your like and subscribe.
Yeah.
I'm coming to get them.
That's some childhood Dracula right there. That's some crazy shit right there.
But subscribe.
I do have
fucking Sesame Street.
Yeah.
But I do have so what I was talking about as far as not really having a direction in terms of where I want to take the content is kind of just an overall, but I do have particular content. I'm working on a video right now utilizing Boneworks and real life and trying to tell this story and questioning what's real versus what's a dream. And so I want to do stuff I have particular ideas that I want to go after. That'll be a long form video for sure. But as far as the overall channel, I kind of like what I'm doing right now. It just needs some fine tuning, to be honest. That's where I'm sitting. Happy to hear feedback though.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, because some of my content isn't performing well in terms of I don't know, specific things, and I feel it. I feel there's maybe I could have done something different here or whatever. I critique myself a lot.
Yeah, I'm a pretty bad critic myself too.
Well, especially from an artist standpoint, because I paint and stuff. I used to paint regularly before taking YouTube seriously. I take critiques very seriously, and I try to implement it as best I can, etc. But it's hard.
Yeah, I think all of us content creators are more or less the same way, because we look at it like it's an art of form of sorts.
It absolutely is.
I think it just helps us get better and improve, which I think is really important if you're going to be a content creator, because this is the kind of space where it probably draws a lot of people who are very prideful and egotistical, but I think it's not a space for prideful or egotistical people, because in order to succeed, you have to be able. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they get their ass kicked as soon as they get in there, because you can watch a million videos from whatever your favorite creator is, and it looks easy. I mean, Dr. Disrespect, Gamer, I mean, whoever you want to go after, you look at that shit and you're like, I could do that. We'll start doing it and see where you're at in, a couple of days, because I mean, you guys know probably just as good as I do, especially when it comes to VR. VR in particular can be quite cumbersome to make content for. Not only are you trying to convey the feelings and whatever's happening to you, but it's VR. So like our recording, the recording tools that we have at our disposal, especially as it relates to something like the Quest 2 and trying to capture like native stuff, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Hopefully Meta actually does what they say they're going to do and work on giving us better tools. But even with the PC VR stuff, like, how many times have you shot a video and fucked up and forgot to turn on your mod mic in OBS, or I know I hit that record button, but you didn't, and you did some dope ass shit on that nobody's gonna believe you because there's no recording.
Or even just random shit happen to you that's completely out of your control. I mean, I've had entire 2-hour recording sessions of a video just corrupted out of nowhere, just bloop, gone.
That sucks. I hate that.
Yeah, it's
the one thing that sucks about VR content creation, because you can't moderate it. You have a fucking brick on your face. You can't fucking check it.
Like I mean, I keep my OBS up while I'm recording, so I could occasionally, I could lift it up and take a peek. But it was like, when we were doing when we recorded the forest, the very first time we recorded the forest. I
know you were very upset about it.
I was fucking rageful. We recorded, it was over 2 hours of content, and like 10 minutes into the recording, like my entire OBS program just froze. So I just had basically an hour and like 55 minutes of just black screen with no sound, and I was so angry. I was beyond fucking angry.
It's very aggravating for sure.
Yeah.
Sound is my big thing. Like, it pisses me off when my mic doesn't come through right. Like when I was just using the Quest 2 mic, I started doing a separate recording for my voice using the Oculus mic, so I could compress it and actually mix it a little better. That comes from the music background. Like, drives me mad.
100%. I'm an audiophile. So is he. We're all we are the same. You are among your people. We understand.
That is why I love the VR community so much. Like, I've spent 40 years on this rock trying to find my people, and I finally found them. And it's within. No, I'm serious. Like, not to be cheesy or nothing, but I really, like, straight up feel like I found my people.
I was laughing out of context reasons.
No, I think you're absolutely right. It seems like, and granted, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it feels like maybe you feel kind of like me, which is, I feel like I've always kind of just been like this weird black sheep my whole life, and I've never really found like my niche, like my lane. Like, it's been hard. Like, I get along with everybody just fine. I think I'm a relatively agreeable person, but like, I don't have my group. I never had like my people. It was always just, I knew everyone. And with the VR community now, it really feels like I'm like, man, like, these are people like I would like ride or die with. Like, these people are my homies. Like, people from completely different backgrounds, walks of life, cultures, like, and we all just come together and over come this together. Come together. We come simultaneously.
Damn, he can't stop himself.
And we all come together over this just shared love over having toasters on our face, basically. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like, it's such a, I don't know. I just, maybe
there's a lot
biased.
of talent in the VR
community. Yeah, there's
community.
a lot of talent, but it's just like, everybody is just so humble and like, welcoming and friendly. And they're just so, I guess, just genuine and wholesome, and like very,
inclusive.
Like I never felt like I've had to keep my guard up around them. You know what I mean? Which is probably how I am with most people when I first meet them.
Yeah, yep. I haven't genuinely hated anybody from the VR community at all. Like, at least not yet. And I hope that doesn't get anywhere. But I hope. I mean, like, I don't. Yeah, like out of all the, especially out of all the content creators I've connected with, you, Surviv0r, Graham, Rip, Panda, Bull Chase, despite Bull Chase being an asshole on purpose.
Bull Chase is an asshole. Tribe, he's like a lovable asshole, though.
Yeah. Tribe, Exotic, Genghis, Papa, Tech,
literally everyone.
Rochi. Yeah, everybody from the VR space, especially in terms of the VR content creation space, are the kindest motherfuckers ever, and I love them all. Stack, Panda. Ugh, man, it's so good.
No, I'm with you. 100%.
Before we get close to wrapping it up, because it's about that hour mark.
I actually just realized it. I was like, as you said that, I was like, holy shit, we already hit an hour.
Yeah. I have one question left for you, and it's not. Okay. I mean, at least I don't think it would take that long, but I don't know. It could be very elaborate. Who knows? So when we did what? What are you laughing at, bitch?
I was about to do the fucking meme. Like, because you were like, we have one question left to ask you, and I was going to be like, why are you gay? That fucking meme.
Okay.
I love that meme. It lives rent-free in my head.
Do you know Dewey?
Do you know Dewey? You just go Uganda Knuckles.
Anyway,
continue. Sorry, I'm just being smooth-brained over here. Please ignore me.
This it should be known by now that we are smooth-brained on this podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, see, even he agrees. So, how did you get into contact with? Okay, Graham, how did you get into contact with Gamertag? Because I know you've mentioned his name. I mean, I have this mentality where if I shoot a message at this dude, they're not going to respond back, so I'm not even going to try. That's my mentality.
Yeah,
because it's growing up being a pussy.
All right, but soldier's doubting himself.
That's what the bullies called me before they shoved me in a locker.
But
before they dipped me in the trash can.
But it's because for me, I shot Panda a message on a whim, just be like, all right, I'm gonna give it a shot. Shot Panda a message, and but it's not just Panda though. In terms of giant, I guess you can call them giant, bigger creators, especially like Beardo Banjo or again Gamertag, or obviously I'm not going to reach out to the bigger ones, of course, the ginormous ones like Nazy or Josh Dubb or Mully or Eddie or Thrill or whatever. I'm not going to reach out to them because I know they're much more out of my league in terms of trying to reach out to them. But how did you and Gamertag hit it off?
We really didn't I don't know that there was a defining moment of hitting it off per se. So when I got to where I was interested in making content and started watching other content creators, I actually found BMF first, and
BMF0r, right?
Yeah, and so when I found him, at the time he started. I don't know. I was probably a couple of months of watching his videos, and he just started going on and on and on about this dude named Gamertag VR, and he was he was super close to a milestone. I think it was 10K or something like that. He's now over 30. He, but rightfully so. It's all well deserved for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
When I heard from BMF, I should go check this guy out. It was instant hook. I vibed with him, and then he's a very open person. He's very raw, which I connect with. He just lays his emotions out there when he's going through some shit. He'll tell his community and whatnot. And so I just took it upon myself to send him a personal message. I think I DM'd him on Twitter, and we got to talking a little bit, and we've played a few games together. And he's he's super cool. I'm pretty sure we're right around the same age. He's a family man too. He knows what it's like to do a job, do content creation, and try to raise a family. Like, I mean, there's just so many connecting points there. And our while he didn't work at the place that introduced him to PSVR, he went to an expo, and we kind of, our VR stories are very similar in how we got into it, which was both from PlayStation VR. So from time to time, I yell at him on Discord or Twitter mostly, and I watch pretty much everything he puts out. And just recently, he made me a mod on his streams. He was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, "Mr. Surviv0r is not a mod." He was like, "Has it been that long since I've streamed? He's an absolute legend!" And then made me a mod right there on the spot. I was like, "What?"
Just
That's
gave
cool.
you the honorary mod spot. Hell yeah!
There you go, bro.
I was like,
cool
"That's cool." But no, he's a super cool guy, and that's why I've been trying to get him into these TTT events you're doing.
Yeah.
Because he would vibe with everybody, and I know he's already got connection a little bit with Techman before, so it's not like he's entering in blind.
But I mean, I feel like, I mean, he's welcome. I mean, he's more than welcome.
I've already gone in this whole spiel with Survivor Graham. I've said he can come on whenever he wants. Okay.
Okay.
He said it again.
I mean, same for the podcast. If he wants to come on the podcast, I mean, I'm sure he's a busy dude. No, I'm genuine. I'm just saying, like,
he's from UK.
We're just looking to hang out with people and have a good time.
Yeah, no, he's in the UK, so there's a huge time difference there.
It's a huge time difference.
Yeah, that would be a little hard to schedule.
It'd have to be like closer to noon.
I mean, that's fine with me. I just know that you have a day job, so.
Well, yeah. If it was the weekend, sure, but clearly not during the week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do a weekend.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I as I said,
that's
I would
why
love to reach out to those bigger creators, but my ass is like, you gonna get shot the fuck down, B.
I mean, I would say the same for all the other larger creators and the random, slow, improbable off chance that they hear this right now. You guys can come on the podcast whenever you want. You can join our TT event. Or TTT event.
Yeah,
we're no pressure. We're literally just a bunch of bros and content creators just hanging out and having a good time. It's literally it.
I literally do the events to make and develop more friendships. You don't have to record. You don't have to stream. You don't have to clip.
I think
just
most
there
of
for
us
fun.
honestly don't. I think some of us do, but I think most of us aren't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, I do it.
Open invitation.
Because it's good fun. As I said, it's to build friendships. It's not to.
Well, hey, it worked.
It's not for content.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah. So that's the one thing I hold dear, because like I know a lot of us are now like connected more because of those events.
I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys if it weren't for that. So yeah, no, that's another mark, a positive mark for the VR community. Like you doing that, these podcasts and stuff like that, like they're super important. They're not only important for the community in general, but like it's very inviting community as it is. But when you do stuff like this, those hesitant ones might cross that line. And be better for it. And so that's why I like stuff like this. This is super cool.
You create the positivity and the like a welcoming environment for people that are just more likely to, try it out for themselves. And ultimately that's, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but like, at least from my perspective, my goal in becoming a content creator from the very beginning has been to change people's lives, make people happy, and get them into VR. That's been my goal from day one, is to like make this the coolest thing and the most positive thing, because it at least, I know this is going to sound tacky, I've said it before, but VR literally changed my life. It changed my entire perspective on life. And I just want to have other people have that effect on them as well.
I think it helped a lot of people, especially in the community. I know Skiva's talked about this, about how it was extremely helpful during the pandemic from a mental health standpoint to have VR or access to VR.
Being able to socialize.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, the whole gamer tag thing, there's not really just an occasional hangout, hello, talk through DMs from
like
time to time.
Like time. Yeah.
I've even reached out to Beardo and and we've talked a few times. Matter of fact, when the Hitman VR came to PC, he did a video on it, and I watched his video, and I had already made one and was going to put one out actually the very next day. And I sent him a message after I watched his. I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. After I watched your video, I almost threw this video in the trash. And he was like, no. He was like, no, don't do that, because we took two different angles. Like he approached, there was a lot of disappointment surrounding the PC VR release of that game, because you could very much tell that it was translated from PSVR. So there was just a lot of limitations, to keep it short. Anyway, I told him that in private message, and he was like, no, don't delete that. And then I told him what I did, which was I actually blamed us for the disappointment, us as in the community for the disappointment, because we didn't pay attention to the video that they put out that was showcasing all this stuff. All the answers were there, that it was going to be kind of in the mediocre lane, and took us off the rails like pretty instantly. I saw it with Gamertag, I saw it with Beardo a little bit, but Beardo and I aligned, and it's janky and it's not perfect, but it's a shitload of fun to get in there and be Agent 47 for a minute. Like I don't know, it's just a whole different feel.
Different ballgame, yeah.
But yeah, I did a video on it, and I basically blamed us for getting too hype on it because we didn't pay enough attention to it. And I even used some of IO Interactive's video to prove it in the video. And he was like, no, don't get rid of it. He's like, we need more people saying stuff like this.
Yeah, just speaking the truth. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Raw dog that fucking
just
shit.
Giving their honest, truthful perspective on things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's also responsible for one more thing that I just took to heart as soon as I heard him say it, and he said it a few times, which is when you're a content creator, like, it's very easy to look at all these games and all this stuff from the content creator lens. Don't forget to play something for yourself.
Yeah,
like,
have fun.
Yep.
Yeah, take your time too. Like, don't always look at it from a content creator lens. Like, make sure you're playing something for yourself. Like for him, it's flat games. Like that's what he does on his own. Whenever he's not on camera and not doing a video for YouTube and so on and so forth. And I just thought that was really good advice, because it's real easy to look at everything that you're going to consume from a gaming standpoint once you take this leap, to look at it through that lens and forget to, like, kind of reward yourself in a way, where you just take you time.
Yeah. It's definitely something I'm still struggling with, trying to figure out the balance on a lot of times, because
I'm chilling.
I mean, less so from a gaming perspective, because I got away from gaming. I'm more like info tech news type stuff and like informative content now. But for a while there was like, and I mentioned this to Soul recently. Actually, I was like, bro, I can't actually remember the last time that I got in VR that wasn't to make content. And it made me sad, because I was like, I originally got into VR to escape reality, and now I'm using reality to escape from VR. It was like a weird,
I can see
it made me feel really sad, because I love VR so much, and it's not something that I ever want to ever go away from my life. Like I want to follow this tech to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm very fortunate to not have those kind of like I guess feelings. I guess because like I enjoy every bit of it. Like even like if it's like stale or whatever, I'll still enjoy the game and have a good time, and not have to worry about the content creation side. I'll worry about the content creation side when I get to editing.
Sure.
I'm having fun. That's why I like making funny content, because I have a good time in the game, do whatever the fuck I want. I just don't care. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do and edit it and do whatever with it. Just make a meme out of it. I don't care what I do with it. Because as long as I enjoy it, as long as someone else enjoys it, I don't care what I put out or what I do in terms of the VR space.
Yeah. No, there's notes to take away from that too. I agree.
But so we're should probably wrap it up pretty soon. Before we wrap up, though, I want to
really
say,
hate to, because dude, we are having such great conversations here.
These always go for so much longer than an hour.
I know. Like my only regret with
these
is that we can't do it for longer. But it's like we got to cut it off at some point, you know.
Yeah.
But hey, that just means that we have more to talk about, which means we'll have you back on another time.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Sounds great. 100%. I'll definitely do it.
Before we pop off, well, you get hop off, not pop off. I mean, I guess it's whatever. Come.
Easy.
Yes, come. Anyway.
Yeah, you want to plug yourself in here, Mr. Survivor? You got any TikTok, YouTube, anything you want to shout out?
Sure. You can find me on YouTube by youtube.com/Mr Surviv0r with the 0 is the O.
Yeah, there you go.
The last O.
Yeah.
Yes. There's only one O.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Holy shit. I've been spelling that name for a couple of years now, and Gramsy just literally made me forget how I spelled my fucking name for a second. I was like, he said the last O. Wait a minute. Have I been fucking up all this time?
For some reason, I have no idea why, but for some reason I was thinking there was 2 O's in it.
Cue the Illuminati sound. X-Files
theme cues up.
Yeah. But yeah, you can also find me on Twitter and TikTok at Mr. Surviv0r, spelled the same way.
Yeah, we'll put
0 for the O.
Socials and everything. All the socials, everything will be in the description. And before we officially head off, any VR content creator that listens and gets this far, you're more than welcome to come on the podcast. Message either Gramsy or me on Twitter, Discord, whatever. Discord or whatever. Discord. If you're interested in
or even email, if you got snail mail.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. And if you want to participate in the events I host, let me know on this, again, the same way, because I'm trying to find more content creators to connect with. I'm trying to do my service in the VR community.
Trying to do the damn thing.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
That's right.
But go follow Mr. Surviv0r and all his socials and et cetera. And like the video if you're on YouTube, and comment what your favorite part was or whatever the hell. And share it with your friends. Hit the big red button to see more of this Compel Reality podcast. And we might have some new things come up. We talked about it with me and Graham in private.
Got some stuff planned for the future.
Got some stuff coming up.
We're making moves. We're doing things. We're doing things and stuff.
Secrets don't make friends.
Is this friends?
And if you're on Spotify, hit the download button. We're still working on Apple Podcasts. It's a pain in the ass.
Apple is cancer.
Yeah, so
hey, but they're about to break into VR. A conversation for another episode.
For what, $2,000? Anyway,
closer to 3, possibly. Some estimations have it, but yeah, which is about par for course.
I want Apple. $3.5K with a kidney.
Oh yeah, let me just take a reverse mortgage on my house real quick to afford this.
No. Sorry.
Okay.
But Mr. Surviv0r, brother, thank you for coming on. We have had an absolute blast, and as far as I'm concerned, you're welcome back anytime you want, buddy.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys too. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, man. Always. All right. It's been the Compel Reality Podcast. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.